I recently saw a video where a creator listed common wardrobe items that she, as a minimalist, doesn't own. And that made me curious about whether there are any classic wardrobe staples that I don't own either. So I started comparing typical capsule wardrobe lists to all my wardrobe items that I list in the app Stylebook. And sure enough, there are these few absolute essentials that I don't own. So here is my list of 10 popular clothing items that I don't own and why. Jeans are the ultimate capsule wardrobe staple. They're practical, durable, and they go with everything. And that's exactly why I tried for a very long time to be this jeans person. I kept buying jeans, even though I never really wore the last pair, but I was always thinking maybe I just haven't really found the right pair yet. But at some point I then realized I just never reach for them. So I just had to face the fact. For everyday situation, I want to be comfortable. And when I go out, I prefer to wear a dress anyways. They're also super bulky to store, not really something that fits into my minimalist wardrobe, and also not practical for packing. Instead of jeans, I prefer to wear wool pants with a stretchier waistband. They're much more comfortable for at home, but then they also look effortless chic when I go out, and they never squeeze my stomach. So yeah, I do totally get why people love jeans. They're durable, practical, you don't have to wash them so often. But for me personally, they just never worked. Is this a rare phenomenon, or does any of you feel the same? Let me know in the comments. I see people walking around with huge wallets all the time. And I always wonder, what on earth is in there? Is it receipts? Is it coins? Is it cards? Maybe their whole life? I don't know. And I don't think I ever owned a wallet like that. I've been using the same little flat card holder since I was about 21 years. My friends gave it to me as a gift back then. And since then, I've never really had this need for anything bigger. I'm not really a cash person anyway. I usually just carry around a few cards and that's it. That's why a big wallet would just add bulk for me without really any added value. Whether it's the little black dress or a classic black blazer. Black clothes are an essential part of any classic wardrobe. In my wardrobe, however, there isn't one single item of black clothing. And there are two reasons for this. First one is maybe a little bit crazy, but there is this yogic idea that black absorbs external energy while light-colored clothes reflect it and thus act kind of as a protective shield against outside negative energies. I know that's just an idea and I don't want to talk anyone out of wearing black. But for me personally, it just kind of felt right. I'm already someone who absorbs a lot from my surroundings, and light colored clothes somehow make me feel more protected. The second reason is that according to my color analysis, I am a soft summer type. So I do have a little contrast in my appearance, and that's why I should avoid wearing harsh colors. So black makes my rather delicate frame disappear because it's just too harsh, while soft colors with little contrast, they complete my look. And that's just why over time, I've completely moved away from black. When I do wear darker color, which is especially necessary in winter, I try to choose softer tones, like for example, brown, taupe, or soft beige. And I think this is actually funny because I feel like 90% of most minimalists' wardrobes consist out of black. I don't think I've ever owned a pair of flip-flops. Maybe as a child, I don't remember. But for me, shoes is very much about comfort and support. And flip-flops just don't give me that. I know they're super trendy right now and I see people pairing them with all kinds of outfits. But honestly, anyone who knows the weather in Switzerland knows that it's rarely perfect for wearing flip-flops. Most of the time, you would just be freezing on your feet. And my feet get extremely cold quickly anyways. But more importantly, I just need shoes that support my feet. I like to walk for long distances, and otherwise my legs just get heavy quickly. And that's why I never understood the hype around flip-flops. But I hear people asking, but what do you wear to the beach then? And honestly, mostly I don't wear any shoes to the beach. And if the sand is too hot or I do need shoes, I would just wear my Birkenstocks. You can just clean them afterward and that's it. So that's why I don't own any pair of flip-flops. Another item I never got the hype around is bras. And I know this sounds maybe a little bit dramatic, but honestly, I just never found a bra that is comfortable to me. Either something pinched, or the straps became uncomfortable, or I didn't like how the bra was visible below my clothes. At the same time, unfortunately, I also don't like going completely without support. That's why years ago, I actually replaced all my tops either with tops that have a built-in bra, because then at least it doesn't slip around, or by tops that were built in a way, so the cut and also the fabric was built in a way where a separate bra wasn't necessary. Right now, I always wear these tops that I buy from a wonderful lady named Teresa on Etsy. She makes them herself from natural materials, and they have the perfect cut that provides support but also looks pretty as a basic top. I cannot recommend her tops enough. There's two more reasons why I don't like bras. First is that I have to put something on extra every morning, but then also bras get tangled in your wardrobe easily, so it makes it always kind of look messy. So bras are one popular wardrobe item that I was more than happy to banish them from my wardrobe. I generally try to keep my wardrobe as small and as organized as possible. That's why I do not own any separate gym clothes. I don't like clothes that just serve one specific purpose. I don't do any intense running or like these high impact sports that require a ton of support or technical athletic wear. I mainly do strength training, I go for walks, and generally incorporate movement into my daily life. And that's why I don't own gym outfits. I just own comfortable clothes that happen to work for the gym too. Then I just wash them and I wear them again as usual. Another huge wardrobe staple that I don't own is t-shirts. T-shirts are just usually too cold here in Switzerland. I also hate that you have to wear a bra underneath the t-shirts. We already know that, I know. And even in the summer, I don't like it when my bare wrists rest on the cold desk and laptop while I'm working. I prefer to wear my previously mentioned basic tops, which give me more support than a t-shirt, and then just a light layer on top of them. For example, a cotton shirt or one of these small little jackets. I'm just much more drawn towards softer, romantic, or also slightly elegant silhouettes. And every time I wear a t-shirt, I somehow felt like I'm wearing someone else's clothes. The good thing here is, if I really want to wear a t-shirt, I just steal one from my husband. He has some really nice oversized t-shirts that in summer sometimes I like to wear outside with a pair of shorts. But I still wouldn't buy them for myself. The next point is a little more common among minimalists. I don't own a belt. The reason why I don't wear one is similar to jeans. I just don't like the pressure around my stomach. Just anything that fits tightly around my waist, and by the way, also when I'm not pregnant, it just immediately feels too restricting and too uncomfortable for me. And since I mostly wear pants with elastic waistbands anyway, I simply don't need belts for practical reasons. Plus, I already have more of a straight figure, and I often heard this advice that you should then create a waist with your belt. But I don't think that works at all. I think it actually creates the opposite effect, because the belt adds inches to my waist, which makes me look even more straight than if I wouldn't wear one. Another common wardrobe item that I don't own is sweatpants. They're usually made out of synthetic material and don't let my skin breathe. So they usually feel too hot on me even when I'm home. And since I'm not very tall, I also find that sweatpants look quite bulky on me. Plus, I have a small wardrobe and I store all of my clothes in drawers. And sweatpants just take up so much space to store. I prefer to wear leggings or the mentioned soft wool pants. I know preferring leggings probably gives me away as a millennial. I know that younger people absolutely hate leggings and they always reach for sweatpants. And that's totally fine to me. I just don't feel comfortable in them. And that's why there are no sweatpants in my minimalist wardrobe. And here is the last category. Anything that wrinkles easily. I wash all my clothes quite often, and this idea of having to iron it every time I washed it just sounds like a nightmare to me. Plus, I don't even own an iron. That's why I pay extremely close attention to the materials when I buy new clothes. And over time, I've realized that there is actually an incredible number of beautiful fabrics that don't wrinkle at all. For example, thick cotton doesn't wrinkle as easily as this thin, cheaper cotton that you sometimes see. But the thicker cotton keeps you just as cool in summer. This reason is also why I cannot stand any linen clothes. Because linen, it doesn't only wrinkle after you wash it, but you see it in real life. Someone wears a nice linen shirt, they sit down, and the wrinkles are already there. I just find that super annoying. So in the summer, I usually wear cotton or bamboo, and otherwise I also like moda, lyocell or wool. For business attire like a white shirt, it's sometimes just better to me to choose a synthetic material that is wrinkle-free. Because what defines a nice, clean business look is really that the clothes look neatly pressed. And precisely because business to me also often means traveling, I need a wrinkle-free clothes that I can easily pack, but I can also wash and quick dry on the go. So making sure to choose wrinkle-free clothes just takes out this hustle of everyday life and it saves time and stress. And that's why my wardrobe contains nothing that wrinkles easily. So one thing you may have noticed throughout this video that for me, clothing has a lot to do with sensory experience. If something even feels slightly uncomfortable, I cannot stop thinking about it throughout the day. Jeans that pinch, bra straps that dig in, hold wrists while working, or just fabrics that feel wrong. These tiny things become huge distractions for me. And I think that was actually the biggest lesson for me when I was building my minimalist wardrobe. Not to buy what is considered essential, but to pay attention to how things actually make me feel. And I would honestly really like to know, does any one of you feel the same? Are there any basic wardrobe items that everyone else seems to enjoy so much, but you just can't stand wearing? Let me know in the comments. I talk to you guys soon. Bye!